Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means that it is time for Smile Time. And for those of you who might not know, Smile Time is sort of we like to have a little bit of a laugh on a Friday night. And we at DearMamaSal are like an extended family of people. We have 3 different broadcasts a week. We do one at lunchtime called our skills broadcast. And today, the skill that we learned was how to make vanilla extract, which was remarkably easy considering. I was quite surprised. And also how to make your own wraps, just in case you ever need to do that, just how simple that really is. And so 2 things, right? So if you missed the broadcast at lunchtime, we did vanilla extract, and how to make your own wraps. Hi, Joan. It's good to see you as well. And hi to Lauren. And I know that Jody said she might be a couple of minutes late because she hit a problem with technology. And we all know about those problems, don't we? Today, we've got some fun things to talk about. And just in terms of the extended family, please feel free to just watch if you want to, participate if you want to. By the way, if you do participate and you don't want me, maybe you want to tell something to the room, but you don't want me to put it out in the replay or whatever, just put a note to say, don't repeat. And then everybody in the room can read it, but I won't read it out loud. And sometimes when people are new, they forget about that. So, they get sort of all tied into it and then forget that this is going to go out on the replay afterwards. So feel free to participate. By the way, some people told me that they watched for years before they ever actually started to participate. So that is awesome. Thank you for the kind compliment, Lauren. I must admit, I don't feel looking good today, but thank you if you think so. That's good to hear. And DearMamaSal is this extended group of people, extended family. And really what we do is that we try to help each other cope, with love, life. Hi, Em. With love, life, and other problems. And quite honestly, in this day and age, that's quite a big part of our lives, isn't it? Is coping. Hi, Ez. Good to see you. And so, if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about, please contact me at dearmamasal@gmail.com. And please follow us here. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, thumbs up if you find this funny, and when we get to it, and then also hit the bell and click on all, and that means that you'll get all the notifications. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and all the other things. There's Jody. And just so that you know, the only thing that isn't DearMamaSal is Instagram. By the time I went to go and sign up on Instagram, somebody had taken my name. So on Instagram, you need to know that DearMamaSal isn't me, but the real DearMamaSal is me. So just so you know about that. We're going to be having lots of fun today, thanks to Jody. And for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin. Anyways, and she works really hard during the week to put together our funnies for Friday night. It's, something, Lauren? No, I don't think it was rude. I think somebody was opportunistic and thought maybe I'd pay them to get the name. I don't know. But, it's like, hey, if you want my name that badly, go right ahead. I just know that people who know who I really am, will know that's not me. And so that is the important thing. Please feel free to leave comments on the broadcast. I really do read them. I pride myself on the fact that I think I reply to almost every single comment. And if I've ever not replied to a comment that you left me, please leave it again, because it means I missed it. All during the week, I get up all hours of the day and night and check for comments, and I do try to get back to them. And so the first quote that Jody came up with, and I think it's beautiful. It said, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Right? How many of you have noticed that as we've been growing together, that you see things through different eyes? Jonas is asking me, Sal, have you been working any of your pour art recently? No, but we're getting, I know that's what I'm going to be doing this winter, this, fall and winter, Jonas. I'm still unpacking, but I'm getting a lot closer. Let me put it that way. And so what I'm going to do is as soon as you see me, I thought what I would do is to show you how to do pour out. Hi, Sandy. How to do pour out on candles, for example, if you're looking for Christmas gifts. So let me just get to where the funnies are. Just hold on 1 second. Actually, first of all, I thought you would enjoy this. First of all, I thought we would talk a little bit about procrastination. Did anybody procrastinate this week? What is pour art? Okay, a pour art is that. And can you see that behind me? And that. And hang on a second, just hold on. Let me get you some other bits so you know what we're talking about here. I should actually have it beside me. Oh. Yeah, I made those. And this is pour art. And this is pour art. I've just happened to pick some up. And these are, get the idea, Em? And I've done everything from small ones like this to big ones like this. So but I love to do it, but I need time to do it because it makes a big mess. I know, I love them too. All right, so here we go. Let me see if I can see this. Susan Orlean said, I think of myself of something of a connoisseur of procrastination, creative and dogged in my approach to not getting things done. Okay, so Jonas is saying unlearning is as important as learning. Examining what you were taught with a critical eye is an important part of processing to becoming further enlightened. Hi, Beth. Good to see you as well. Jonas, I so agree with you. I was horrified at some of the things that have been ingrained into my mind when I started to work on myself. And I was just, where did you get that from? Well, I was taught that. And guess what? You don't have to live by that anymore. Beth saying, what a day I had. I watched a video at work from the previous day and caught my store managers. Let me know if you want me to repeat that. Wow. Yeah, that's very stressful on you, Beth. That is so sad, isn't it? And Beth, let me tell you something. You don't care. Okay. I caught my store manager stealing and letting her boyfriend buy cigarettes, and he is underage. I recorded the video on my phone. Now, Jody, I just want to let you know, Emily was my second admin. My first one was Ozzy Becker. And she didn't, she was with me for a little while, but Emmy took over. And how old were you? 15 or something when you did it? And Em stood by me for many years, and it was just amazing until she found love, and then, you know what happens when that happens. So just a very, very special part of DearMamaSal. And the butthead Aussie is doing incredibly well. Just so you know, hi, Anna Marie. I just want to tell you, I do hear from Oz, and he was all ready to go back to Indonesia, and then the pandemic hit, of course. We don't like him anymore. Well, you're welcome to not like him, but me, I love him to bits. I always will. The same as I will always love you to bits, and you know that. Mm. Oscar Wilde said, and we all agree with him, never put off until tomorrow what I can do on the day after. I want to tell you, if there's any stress about my new home, it is the fact that I just don't seem to be getting it unpacked fast enough. And then every now and then I hear this big voice in my head that goes, "So, who cares?" And if anybody cares, then they don't know how much you've already done. You know what I mean? It's just like, really. I found one of my friends said that to me. I was quite surprised. He said, "Oh, when you've been there for 6 months, so why are you not unpacked? You know, it's not like you've had to go to work or something." And I went, "Oh, that's a nice judgment." Did he forget that I also do Dear Mama Sal? I don't know. Procrastination, Christopher Parker said, is like a credit card. It's lots of fun until you get the bill. Well, isn't it funny? To me, it's like, how many of you spent your life waiting until the last minute to do things and found that works really well for you? You see, this is the incredible thing that I found talking to most people. I'm an expert in procrastination, and I wrote full day seminars on it. I'm so good at it. Because one of the things that I said to people is, you understand we all have a good reason for procrastinating. I don't want to do it. I think is a brilliant reason not to do it. Really. Have any of you, and this is my expertise, if I procrastinate long enough, I won't need to do it. Have any of you fallen into that trap as well? But if I really do have to do it, I do it much better at the last moment. And I really admire the people that started it 3 weeks ago, but that's not going to ever be me. And so that's it. I actually work on things all the time. You'll probably be surprised to hear that between the last broadcast and this one, I have already started working on the Friday broadcast. And Jody will be able to confirm that, because she'll be able to see that I've actually started it. And the reason that I did it, quite honestly, was because I had a lot of interesting stuff on today's broadcast, but we were having such fun doing the vanilla extract and the how to make your own wraps that I never got to half of the stuff that was on that broadcast. So what I did is I copied it over so that I could talk about some of that stuff next week. How about procrastination always gives you something to look forward to? No problem, Jody. You're doing just fine. Anna Marie asked how Lionel is doing. How many of you relate to this one? Nothing says work efficiency like panic mode. I find it, I must admit, I talk to myself a lot when I procrastinate, and I can hear that voice in my head saying, you should have started this 3 weeks ago. And I go, no, I should not. And by the way, yes, I do, because I actually do start it. And as I said, I've already started next week's broadcast at lunchtime, Friday broadcast, but I work on it all week, but I work on it a little bit at a time, and then I only put the whole thing together on a Thursday night, as Jody will tell you. It's just like, and sometimes I have the thumbnail ready and everything else by, Tuesday. But, I'm actually working on it all week while I think about things. And I must admit, I had such fun. I've been meaning to do, some of these broadcasts that I'm doing on the Friday lunchtime, the skills ones. I've been meaning to do them for the longest time. But now I'm just getting down to them. Now then, this one is a quote. Bertrand Russell said this, and I really do believe it, that the time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. Think about that one. The time that you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. I was saying at lunchtime, you guys will be amazed. You know, I was telling you that when I came here, what I wanted to create or find out was this sense of community. And people kept telling me that, you know, they wanted to get together, but nobody was doing it. And I said, well, you know, how long are you going to complain about that? And when are you going to start doing it? What? I said, how long are you going to complain about it? When are you going to start doing it? Well, guess what? We eventually got people to the point where we picked a day. It was so exciting. And we picked Wednesday of this week. And the funniest thing was that we decided to have happy hour. And we had happy hour and invited 17 of the neighbors. And we told them, bring your own chair, bring your own drink, bring your own appies, because, you know, we didn't want people touching other people's food. And then come for happy hour between 4 and 6. Now, I was pretty sure that we'd probably, you know, do it between 4 and 5, but it would take us the rest of the time to clean everything up. I don't mind telling you that, much to my surprise, on the dot of 4 o'clock, 17 people arrived. You know what I mean? It was like they came dragging their chairs and their coolers and you know, it was just an amazing sight. They all converged, and we're going, wow. And they sat down and they started to laugh and they started to drink, and then they drank some more and drank, you know, and laughed even more. And it was just like, and they kept thanking me, and I said, I didn't do it, you did. And, you know, I just kept on until somebody, you know, gave me a day. And I said, you know, so you have done it because you're here. You know, I mean, feel free to give me credit, but, you know, really. But they were all so happy. And, you know, to hear people laughing again. How many of you have missed that? You know, it's like when you isolate, you just don't have, you know, the same sense of happiness around. And so we really did. We laughed a lot. And of course, as you can imagine, a couple of the guys, you remember the guys that went to go and get the cube unit? I still haven't edited that bit of footage, but they went to go and get the cube unit. I can't remember, you know, each time I said, hey, so-and-so, and he said, do not ask me for a favor. You know, I know I'm going to spend a long time trying to live that little favor down, but never mind. How about this one? I like work. It fascinates me. I can sit and look at it for hours. I was thinking, Lauren, you probably can relate to that, right? So, you know, you can sit and look at your to-do list because it's so pretty for a long time. You know, doing something on it is another problem. I've got a new thing. Do you have any of you know, those chalk pens that they use on blackboards? I bought myself a set of them. And I can now write on my mirrors and my windows easily, because I find that I'm in the wrong room when I get a bright idea. And so now I just pick up the pen and I shake it and I just write it on a window or on a mirror. And then I go around during the day and I take those notes off and put them somewhere intelligent. Not that I do anything with half of them. Procrastinate now, don't put it off. Okay, but Abe Lincoln said this: you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. How many of you have had that, you know, where you put it off so long and then you ended up that you got into trouble because you put it off? Yeah, I've been there and done that. So the trick is to get smart. Know what you can procrastinate on. Yeah, Lauren's going, making the list is great. Actually doing what is on the list, not so much. I totally relate to that. If it weren't for the last minute, nothing would get done. I was capable, and I still am, I think. I was capable of working, you know, through 2 straight days and nights if I needed to get a project done. It was just like, okay, I really can't procrastinate any longer. Now I need to put it together. You know, and it just, sometimes that's how long it took me. How about this one? Ellen DeGeneres said, procrastination isn't the problem. It's the solution. I agree. It's the universe's way of saying, stop, slow down, you're moving too fast. Yeah, Jody's saying, I've been there. There's plenty of time. Well, then, oops, not so much. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the weeks go by, right, Jody? When I've always said that as well, is that I work all week to do the broadcasts, and I just about got my feet back on the ground when it's time to start them again. When I say time to start them again, I've just about got clear of everything when it's just like, oh my gosh, it's Thursday again, and means I need to be broadcasting tomorrow. How about this one? When all is said and done, more is said than done. It was so funny when we had the get together, the happy hour, very happy hour. And we were actually throwing, I think there were still 10 people at 10 o'clock at night. And I did say, if success is measured by the number of people we have left, we did well. But it was amazing that absolutely everybody said, when are we doing this again? And what are we doing? And it was just like, yeah, nobody picked a day. They're not learning, they're slow learners. They'll get it. I'll obviously have to have another executive meeting and pick another day because, they have a problem with that. But, Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task. So true, isn't it? Have any of you got in your closet hidden away a task that you started years ago? One of the joys I had of moving was I got to go through closets, and I found one beautiful. It was so pretty, people. I got to tell you, it was a deep burgundy red velvet jacket, almost like a riding jacket, and it was so pretty. I think I started making it when I was about a size 10 or 12. Obviously not in this lifetime. And, I couldn't throw it away because I loved the material and it cost me so much. And, when I was downsizing, I just went, who are you kidding? So I don't have to worry about completing it anymore. Now, how about this one? Pablo Picasso said this. Now, listen up on this one. This is clever. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. How about that one? Like if you're willing to die without it being finished, throw it away now. But if you're saying, hey, it doesn't really worry me, but if you're going, I really do want to get that done in my lifetime, then start working on it. Jody's saying she had a macrame or macrame, it's pronounced two different ways in two different countries, project from the 8th grade that you haven't completed. And you still got it, Jody? Seriously? Your challenge for this week is to hunt it out and get rid of it. Let's see if you can do that. But what an incredibly great... She did it in 8th grade and she's 51. Oh, you make me feel so much better. Benjamin Franklin said this, and I love this. He says, you may delay, but time will not. Yeah, Isabel's saying about the macrame, or finish it. You know something? We're probably due to have macrame come back into fashion because that was the 70s, right? If my memory is correct, that we did macrame or macrame. I believe that was the 70s. I have visions of it being at that time because of the colors that I can remember doing. I trained a whole lot of African ladies how to do it and sell them so that they could earn extra money. And they loved making them. I just funded them for the first one, and then they sold it, and then they came back and, we bought more stuff for them, and they carried on. It was amazing how many they made, and they were so good at it. Janet Daly said, "Someday is not a day of the week, people." Someday is not a day of the week. So, did you mean someday, some months, or some year? I will do this. Now, Jack Cornfield, he's the guy with the soul books, isn't he? Jack Cornfield, what is it called? Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I think that's Cornfield, right? He said the trouble is, how about this? The trouble is you think you have time. And that's what I keep looking at is where is the time going? I've been here for 6 months and I don't feel I've got very far, but is it really that important? And the answer is no. I was saying at lunchtime as well, and I thought this was horrific. I don't think I was telling you the story at lunchtime, but I think I should. There was a guy in our community who ended up in hospital. And this doctor said to him, he was trying to, do a cognitive test. And he said to him, "What day of the week is it?" And he said, "I don't know." And then he said, "How many steps are there up to your house?" And he said, "I don't know." And the doctor, God forbid, turned to the wife and said, "Let him go. He was dying of cancer. Let him go. He's demented. He's got dementia." And the wife looked at him and said, "No, he hasn't. The reason he doesn't know what day of the week it is because he's been sick with cancer for months now. And he's in and out of, of strong medications. And quite honestly, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore." And so how many of you can understand that when you get retired, you don't really care what day of the week it is? Is it a long weekend? I don't know. It's like, do I care? Every weekend's a long weekend for me. So, I'm retired. It's different. And then the question about how many steps up to your house, this man had been in and out of hospital, being brought in and out on a gurney. That's how sick he was. So, no, he didn't know how many steps because it was years since he'd taken those steps. And quite honestly, would you know? I was trying to think how many steps on mine. I think 4, maybe 5. I think it's 4. I'll let you know later. But how can you say that is dementia? That is not dementia in my book. I thought that was horrific. What do you guys think? Oh, Lauren, that's an area that you're studying, so maybe you would, like that for a story somewhere. That might fit in nicely. Well, Sharon, I think you're allowed to be late if you were on the phone with your boyfriend or any other reason that you have. We're just always so pleased to see you. Robert Benchley said, "Anyone who can do any amount of work, provided it isn't the work he's supposed to be doing at this moment." Oh, that is my life. I can get distracted so easily. But I found that sometimes the things that I do with my distractions are actually great for me. By the way, do any of you remember the story of the missing battery charger? Now, for those of you who don't know, when I arrived here 6 months ago, on the very first day, I bought the battery charger for my car because my car battery was having some problems. So the very first trip I did, I bought a battery charger with me, and I put it away carefully. And then all the furniture arrived, and I haven't been able to find that battery charger since, because all the boxes went in front of everything that was there originally. And you'll be pleased to know I have now found it. Yes, Lauren, I found it this week. Took me 6 months to find it. It's in the storage shed at the back, and it is on a work table in the storage shed, which at the time was totally empty. Now, I'm surprised I didn't put it closer to the car. But I didn't. I put it in the storage shed. And I put it towards the back of the storage shed, but on top of a table, easy to get to, until they put all the boxes in front of that table. And the only reason I found it was that Dougie phoned me, and Dougie said to me, "Do you still happen to have my printer?" Now, Doug left a printer with me about 5 or 6 years ago, minimum. And, did he think I was going to throw out something he left with me? No. So it had been in my garage, and of course I packed it up and brought it with me. So I was looking for his printer. And in looking for his printer, I found you all knew that was going to happen, right? I'd be looking for something else and I'd find it. And I did. It was so exciting. So now I have a new battery charger, because I bought one because I needed one, and the backup now. It's very exciting. Ambition is a poor excuse for not having this. Okay, I'll try that again. It's difficult to keep a straight face on this one. Hang on. Ambition is a poor excuse for not having sense enough to be lazy. I love that. Isn't it wonderful just to have do any of you feel guilty if you just take a day off? I do. Even now when I'm retired, it's like I keep saying to myself, I'm going to have a PJ day and stay in bed today. And I don't. But I'm nearly ready for one, I can tell you that. Okay, if you want to make any easy job seem mighty difficult, just keep putting it off. Which is why I work on the broadcast all during the week. I do a little bit on the broadcast every day so that I don't have that mammoth job at the end. All right, now this one is a very wise statement. Listen to this. It says, Lord Chesterfield said this. He said, the less one has to do, the less time one finds to do it. Isn't it? They have that wonderful expression, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. So if you've got more than enough time, the chances are you won't do it. Putting off an easy thing makes it hard. Putting off a hard thing makes it impossible. Wow. So Abe Lincoln also said, things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who don't hustle. I like this one. If you ask me, reincarnation is just another way to procrastinate. And then somebody said this one, and so true, isn't it? I've been looking over a list of spring chores that I made up last fall, and darned if they aren't full chores at all. Yeah, how many of you have got chores that have been on your to-do list for, like a year? I think that's called a goal, don't you? And I think goals are wonderful things as long as you don't stop having it as a goal. I've had some goals on my to-do list for forever and a day. I remember Benji asking me once, how often do you write your goals? And I said, I'm writing them all the time. What about you guys? You know, I have things I want to do, and I've got notes in Keep and all sorts of things of all the things I want to do. I'm not short of things to do. It's just the time in which to do them. And the reason I don't have the time in which to do them is focus. Focus. Have any of you heard that word? You know, if there are times when I have literally said, I don't care what else I do today, I'm stopping and I'm going to edit a video. And I'm not doing anything else until that video is up. I know it's going to take me 4 hours, but I'm not going to do anything else until it's done. And I feel so good when I just cut out everything else and just concentrate on that. How about this for a bit of wisdom? Think about this. Yeah, Jodi's saying I've got lists of my list. Goals are set for daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly overview. Yes, how am I doing on that one? You know, like you can imagine, I had that find the battery charger on my list for 6 months. I got it. So excited. Never put off until tomorrow what you can put off forever. I would say definitely put off till tomorrow something that you can put off forever, but never mind. Every duty which is bidden to wait returns with 7 fresh duties at its back. Yeah, if you wait long enough, you end up with a much bigger problem than you had to start with. The time to begin most things is 10 years ago. You know, I think it's one of the scary things about getting older. You know, as I look at it, I'm sitting here, I'm going, I'd be 73 next month, and I'm going, I wonder how many years I've got left to procrastinate. You know what I mean? It's just like, maybe I should not procrastinate forever because in any minute now I'm going to run out of possibilities. So, Lordy. You know, so apparently I probably will have another get together around about that time, whether they want it or not. You know, it was really funny with that happy hour get together. This one woman said to me, I had such fun. I can't believe I've been sitting there on my backyard all by myself when I could have been having fun with you guys. And I say, exactly. Yeah. Duh. How about there are a million ways to lose a workday, but not even a single way to get it back? Now then, Jimmy Lyon said tomorrow is the only day in the year that appeals to a lazy man. I do not consider myself to be lazy. I think my challenge is I have a creative mind. So I can think about today's broadcast, and that will trigger me to think of 6 others. Now, I write those 6 down because they're all good ideas. But there's no way I'm going to work on those 6 because by next week, I'll get triggered to another 6. And so every week, I will need to decide which of the choices I'm going to go with. Carlos Castander said, the problem is that you think you have time. You think you have time. So let me ask you, what do you think you have time to do this week? I was so funny. I was thinking earlier, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to do the broadcast, and then I'm just going to quietly do a couple of things, and then go to bed early and have a really quiet day tomorrow. And then the voice in my head said, yeah, but Doug's coming. And I went, oh, yeah. Let me rephrase all of that. So before I go to bed tonight, I need to tidy up the house, disinfect the guest bathroom, tidy up the deck. It was just like, why did I not think of this? Now, how about this one? How about all things come to those who wait? How many of you knew that I would eventually find that battery charger? Right? That St. Anthony knew where it was. He just was not going to worry about it for the time being. And isn't it strange that after I got the new battery charger and properly charged up the battery, I haven't needed the battery charger since. But winter is coming. So what do you guys want to get done this week? Anything that we can laugh about next week? Come on, let's get some input here. What is it that you're going to supposedly do this week and laugh about next week? Anybody? Or are you just going to leave me hanging here? And then Jody, thank you for those, Jody. Oh, there we go. I wonder how I pronounce that. Aanthe? Or Aya the Creator? Aya the Creator, that's what it is. Okay, so Aya the Creator says, I'm hoping to organize my closet. Good. Sharon's thinking about nice procrastination, Sharon. Okay, and Lauren's saying to get caught up on her studying. Yes, well done. I tell you what, Lauren, you get caught up on studying and I'll do some editing. Isabel is going to get a bit earlier. It never happens. I have the same problem. Every night at midnight, I think it's time to go to bed, and I still don't get to turn over and go to sleep until about 3 a.m. Anna Marie said, I am hoping to be able to go into school and start to get ready for the new school year. When are you opening up, Anna Marie? All right, so Sharon, closet is on her list as well. Oh, you're going to make 6 batches of soap. That is wonderful. Are you going to make it with lye, or are you going to make it in some other way? And Sandy's saying, I'm trying to do a canvas sign for my friend's son's birthday. It was a couple of weeks ago. I've been trying to do it all week, but I got distracted. Exactly. So get focused. Pick a day and go, you're not doing anything else except that sign until it's done. All right. So Jody's saying that she'd like to sew again this week. It's been 3 weeks. Yeah. Anna Marie saying that she's going back to school. The first teacher day will be August the 26th. The kids will start on August the 31st, the day after my birthday. Sharon is making her soap using lye. That's very dangerous stuff, though, isn't it? I seem to remember that burns bones and stuff. So be very careful, please. We've got some positive thoughts that Jody threw in here as well. She said, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. And keep your behavior positive because your behavior become your habits. And keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. So Sharon also has sewing on her list. So what day are you guys going to do sewing? I'd like you to just pick a day, just so that you know, because if you say I'll do it someday next week, it's not going to happen. So pick a day. Sharon, what day are you going to say to yourself, today is my sewing day? Wednesday for Jody. Yeah. And A is saying, absolutely agree. The mindset and perspective is everything, even before you start a goal. Sharon, you both picked Wednesdays. Okay. I tell you what, you guys do that and I will edit on Wednesday as well. We'll all have, and so we'll see how we did. How's that? Anybody else want to pick something for Wednesday so that we can all laugh at each other next week? Alice Morse Earl said this, and it's so true. Every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. So that is something I work on. I must admit that regardless of what's gone right or wrong in my week, I do try to, no, I don't try. I do it. At the end of every day, I literally run through what I did that I was happy with that day. I love Sharon's sense of humor. She's saying about the Wednesday thing. She said, sounds like a plan. Jody, remind me on Tuesday. Oh, let's make Jody responsible. Good idea. Yeah. Okay, so Aya, the creator, is going to clean her closet on Wednesday. You're trying to I know how to do it, Aya. I'm an expert at it now. Would you like to know how to do it? I'm not joking. And I want to tell you, since I've learned this trick, it has worked so well for me. Yeah, I think, Jody, if you remind me on Tuesday, I will put up a note for everybody on Facebook to remind us all. Okay, so Aya, I want to tell you there is one easy way to clean out your closet. Take everything out and put it on your bed. Okay? Oh, that's good. Sandy's going to work on her sign on Wednesday as well. So, Aya, do you understand that? Just take everything out and put it on your bed. You will be amazed how quickly you will put things back when you want to go to bed. Oh, here's a question I wanted to ask you all. When you hang things up in your cupboard, do you hang it up in, do you put a top with the pants, with the whatever? Or do you put all your T-shirts together, all your shorts together, all your dress clothes together? How do you hang things in your... Oh, I want to tell you, Aya, throw it all in your bed. It's the fastest way I know to clean out a closet. Because 1 minute it's full of junk, and the next minute it's all over your bedroom. And, I want to tell you, it's amazing how quickly it goes back. The other thing I found, Aya, that works really well. Okay, I've got to show you this. Seriously, what did I do with the pen, people? We know I had a pen when I sat down. Maybe. I know I had the pen when I sat down. What did I do with it? I've got to go and find another pen. Hang on, Aya, I'm going to teach you something that's really interesting. Just hold on. Just going to find another pen. I've got 2 tips for the day for you. All right, here we go. Am I sitting on it? Probably. I'll find it as soon as I don't need it anymore. You know that. Okay, so Aya, here's what I found works really well. I now have, this is the hat, and I have let's say these are all my shorts, and I actually hang my shorts. I hang my shorts in my cupboard. But then what I do, if that's the end of the shorts, I then hang one coat hanger this way, the other way. Do you get what I'm saying? All these hangers are hanging this way, but that one I turn the other way. And then what I do is I will put all my trousers hanging down, and then I will put one coat hanger empty the other way. Now, here's the interesting thing is when you go to put things into the closet, it's so much easier because you just look for the next one that's the wrong way round, and you know that's where the trousers start. And the other thing that I do, and this is going to sound absolutely amazing to you now, I hang my clothes when they come out of the dryer. I hang them the same way. I hang my clothes. I now know that my closet has shorts, trousers, cardigans, long cardigans, and then T-shirts in this particular closet. Got it? And I actually hang them up in that order. So when I go to put them in the closet, I already have all the T-shirts together. I already have the cardigans together. I already have all the trousers together. And I already have all the shorts together. I just pick up 3 hangers, put it there. Works like a brilliant thing. And my closet has been so much tidier since then. Hope that helps, eh? It works. I'm looking forward to hearing if you try it and if it works for you. But the trick was to actually hang. The other thing I do with my coat hangers, tip number 3, my coat hangers, as I take clothes off my coat, I'll try that again. As I take my clothes off my hangers, I put them in a container. Because when I go to do the wash, I will have exactly the right number of coat hangers because I have taken my clothes off those hangers. So the box goes to the washroom, the laundry room, and I have exactly the right. Does that make sense to anybody? You know, if I've used, 4 hangers, I've taken 4 lots of shorts and trousers off those sort of hangers, I've got to have the right number because they immediately go into this container. It's actually yeah. It's just like I always have exactly the right number of coat hangers of the right type with me. Saves me a lot of time. How about this one? You cannot change how people treat you or what they say about you. All you can do is change how you react to it. Now, I know some of you have really learned this lesson. Some of you have really learned this lesson. That we're only responsible for our side of it, not theirs. Well, Jody, I want to tell you, I'm glad you like the idea. What I want to tell you, it works really well. What I like about it is I literally can go like this with the shorts and the trousers, and I just walk to the cupboard and I've got probably 3 pairs of shorts and I go clunk. They're all in the right place. I move everything to the left. So the new ones are on the right-hand side. And then I move to the next coat hanger that's the wrong way around. And I put the clean ones on the right-hand side of all the trousers. That way, everything is being rotated. And by the way, if you keep finding you miss these particular clothes on the left-hand side, it's time to throw them out or donate them. I know which clothes I need to donate. Why? They're always sitting on the left-hand side. because the other clothes keep going like this, but I keep leaving those 3. Does that make sense? So, I've got, how many T-shirts have you guys got? I have lots. I've just, I live in T-shirts most of the time. But what I do is I've also got tops that are not T-shirts. Now, this top, I don't wear it very often, but when I do, I'm happy to wear it. So that's good. All right. Yes. A is saying that I find the least touch clothes are often at the ends of the closet. Yes. I used to have that when I just put things in. The things that I didn't use moved to the end, but you'll find when you've got your clothes in sections. Yes, and if the clothes are in the middle, those are the ones you wear the most. But you understand now that you're going to have them in sections, it's going to change. I also do one thing, Aya, that I would really recommend. I have a bag hanging on a coat hanger on the left-hand side of my closet. And every season, I take something off the left-hand side and put it, in each category and put it in the bag. So Jody's saying, I have donated some, so now I only have about 15 T-shirts. Yes, I've probably got 15. I'll count them for you, Jody. If you remind me, I'll find out. Winston Churchill said, the positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. Can you imagine how many of my neighbors are going, I can't believe that she did this. We've all been talking about it for a year, and she did it. Yeah, I do certain things. Do any of you do that? I do certain things at the change of the season. So before I move my summer clothes away, I will look at what's on the left-hand side of each section and donate it, unless it's something that I really have kept rotating. But if, I've missed those 3, they go in the donation bag. I also take, do you take your seasonal clothes out of your closet? I really find that does help. And I know you're saying, but Sal, some clothes are sort of fall as well as winter, and some I wear. That's okay. In other words, your fall clothes are probably a mix of summer clothes and fall clothes. And then your winter clothes are probably a mix of winter clothes and fall clothes. Your spring clothes will be a mix of spring clothes and winter clothes, all right? So you normally are using 2 different seasons at the same time. Now Aya's saying, I also have staples that I wear throughout. I'll just style it differently depending on the temperature. Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying that at the moment we got as hot as Hades here. Well, it is for us in BC, which probably is, it's probably midwinter for some of you who have very high temperatures. But what is our temperature today? We're probably up in the 80s, I would think, today. And so for us, that's pretty hot. We're in Canada, people, with igloos. So we find that pretty hot. So what's happening now is obviously as we get to late September, I'll be starting to look at bringing out some of the fall. And what I find is I like that because I sort of keep the oranges and reds for fall and winter. Do you guys do that? I will have some red that I keep all year because, red is one of my colors. But I will take the bulk of the oranges and have them for Thanksgiving type time. And then the bulk of my reds and will be at Christmas time, obviously. And so, I like to sort of, and it just is nice to have sort of a change of season. Jody's saying, I'm just thinking about how much my life has changed since Sal, because part of my world, since Sal became part of my world. It's astonishing. My thought process is so different now, thankfully. Well, even down to how I organize my life. If I only gave you one tip, Jody, what was the best one for you? What surprises me is I literally I write down tips almost every day. I've got this mega list of tips that I want to share with you. And I do them without even thinking. And I'm thinking, oh, I should talk to the viewers about that. For example, it's summer and there are fruit flies around and all sorts of things. And I've got into the habit, those silicone cupcake molds that we have, Jody? I found having one of those next to my pop can is very useful. I'll take a drink of my pop can I probably have a pop every other day or something, and I'll just put a silicone cupcake mold over the top of it. So only I am drinking the pop. I don't want to share it with the fruit flies and whatever else is flying around. And I'm thinking, it's such a simple thing to do, but it works. The other thing is, if you happen to have one of those plastic glasses, the red ones, just turn that upside down on top of it. And nothing else is going to eat and drink your drink then. Walt Whitman said, keep your face always turned towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. If you face the sunshine, your shadows will always be behind you. And isn't that the truth? Don't live in the past because you can't change it. Don't live in the future because we don't even know whether we're going to have one, do we? So, just look at the sunshine every day. Jody's saying, two, if I may, don't be an emotional pretzel. In other words, an enabler. Yep. And changing my turnaround time on negative thinking that happens in my life. But there are too many to count, to be honest. Just, Jody, you're doing a wonderful job of that turnaround time. I've noticed that. Luckily, I work with you on a daily basis. And I can really see that something will hit you emotionally and you will go, blah, 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 blah. Hi, Sam. And then you're over it and moving on. And it's just amazing how quickly you do that. Sam is saying you ladies are so wonderful. Well, I'm not sure if Jonas is going to like that one because he's pretty wonderful too. But happy Friday to you, Sam, and good to see you. Yeah. Were any of you not see what I did with the popcorn kernels? I just want to just make sure everybody understood that one. If you haven't seen what I do, when I make popcorn, I hate it when you end up with, kidding those kernels. So what I do is I take one of those plastic containers you get your strawberries in or raspberries or whatever, probably the strawberry ones because they're bigger. And I just cut a hole in one end that is just about the size of a kernel. I just cut the corners like that. And then I put the popcorn in and I just shake it. And guess what? The kernels just fly out. Yeah, all over my kitchen, but that's right. The way to happiness is to keep your heart free from hate, your mind free from worry, to live simply, expect little, give much, scatter sunshine, forget self, think of others. Try this week and you will be surprised. Yes, Sam saying, oh, yeah, right. And gents, I do apologize. We like that, Sam. That's why we love you. Yeah, and you know something, Jody? I really am aware of the fact that I'm not joking. I have a list in my keep notes. It's probably this long of tips I've never talked to you about. Just as I do something, I think, I should talk to people about that because that might help somebody. Willie Nelson said, once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. I've said to you many, many times that I spent a lot of my life in depression. Um, I suffered from, I think, what they called situational depression. And then I learned how not to do that. I really found the answer for me. And I am delighted to say that I now know exactly when that vortex is going, trying to suck me down. And it's amazing where I just go, all right, what am I going to do about this? Because if I sit here dwelling on it, I'm just going to end up more miserable. So what am I going to do that I want to do? What am I going to do for achievement today so I feel good about myself? What am I going to, it's just like, what am I going to do? Because what I found was the whole thing about depression was, in my view, it was anger turned inwards. Whenever I really worked on what is causing this depression, 9 times out of 10, I was angry about something. And I didn't feel I could talk about it or tell the person how angry I was for whatever reason. And, now I just go, if I'm starting to feel resentful, I know that I'm being sucked into some sort of thing here. So it's like, either let it go or do something about it. Or let it go and don't do anything about it, but just stop complaining about it and nagging yourself about it. It's amazing the difference that it makes in your life. How about this one? Really beautiful. If you can see this picture, you cannot stop the waves, the waves of life, but you can learn to surf. And I think that is exactly what makes my life happy. Is I've learned to surf pretty well. Do I still crash into the waves every now and then? You bet I do. I'm a human. So, Aya, thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate it. It really helps. Thank you. The best thing to give your enemy is forgiveness. To an opponent, tolerance. To a friend, your heart. To your child, a good example. To a father, deference. To your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you. And to yourself, respect. To all others, charity. So here's what I did. Yvonne came to see me last weekend, as some of you know, and when she left, I said, I just want to thank you for the greatest gift, which is the gift of your time. Great, Lauren. May I repeat that, Lauren? I just want to double check. I don't want to presume that you want that repeated. Thank you. So Lauren is saying, see, what I love about the viewers, when they get really honest, it helps so many people. Lauren's saying, Lauren is busy doing a university course. And she said, I had a day of depression during the week because I gave up 2 of my university classes. I had to remind myself that I did it for my own good. Yeah, it wasn't that you're lazy. It wasn't that anything else. It was like you gave those up so that you could survive without constant overwhelm. Right? Aya is saying about the contribution she just made. She said, it's my pleasure, a small way to show my appreciation. I've always liked DearMamaSal since I watched Judy's channel. I really miss not being able to go visit them at the moment. It's so, it's so strange. I'm trying to think when I last saw Benji just after I moved into the house, when the house was empty. He actually came to visit. So he visited me in January. But I haven't seen Judy and the girls since probably before Christmas. Yeah. Lauren, and Jody is saying, that she's proud of Lauren for looking after her mental and physical health. But, am I correct, Lauren? What made you depressed was the feeling that you were a loser, right? That the overwhelm was because you couldn't cope properly or whatever. You see, when you let that go and go, I tried to do too much. I thought I could cope with it all, but I can't. I think that takes a great deal of courage. You remember I was saying that to Amel last week. Yeah, you felt like you had failed. No, you only fail when you give up completely, right? And you can even give it up completely and go back to it again in the next semester. And that's not failing. That's just taking the pressure off yourself. Yeah, and A is saying the same thing. Go, Lauren. That's a sign of strength for sure. One that I currently relate to. Wow. I can send you a hug as well, A. And Sam saying letting go of unrealistic expectations is strength, not weakness. Great support, everybody. Well done, Lauren. You understand, Lauren? That's what I said. You talking about it will help a lot of other people as well. And that is why I love doing Dear Mama Sal, because we all have good weeks and bad weeks. We all have fun times and not so fun times. And we all need to hear that we are not alone. How many of you have been quite surprised that, what do you mean, other people have this problem? It's not just me. The greatest weakness lies in giving up, but the most certain way to succeed is to always try just one more time. There you go. How about that, Lauren? So don't give up on those ones that you dropped for this semester. Go back and redo them when you've got the space to do it. And by the way, that is a quote from Thomas Edison, who I believe tried to make the light bulb 30,000 times before he succeeded. Yeah, he never gave up. It's a bit like me and the battery charger. I knew I was going to find it. If I moved enough stuff, I was going to find it somewhere. It's a bit like my seeds that I lost a month ago. But you know something? I gave up trying to find them and I ordered new ones. So when I find them, I will now have backup seeds the same way as I have got backup battery charger. One day I will get my house organized enough that I will not need to do this anymore, but I will have had fun doing it. I don't think that is a weakness. Oh, by the way, I did something else really clever. Any of you relate to this? I decided what would be the best way to keep all my seeds in one nice, neat thing. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some of those photo album pockets that you have, and I'm going to slip the seed packets into those photo album things. So I ordered them, and they arrived, and I put them away till I could find the binder, because I knew that the binders were somewhere. Found the binders, people. I even started it with the word garden on it. Do you think I can find those plastic pockets that I got specially? I waited 3 months to get them. They're here, and I put them away carefully. But I have to think about this logically. Would I have considered that to be an office thing? I think so. So it's probably right here in one of the boxes that I have next to me marked office things. Jody says Lauren was so kind to offer to help me find quotes when I was in overwhelm a few weeks ago, even though she had her uni responsibilities, among other things. So very thoughtful. Yes. You know something? It's amazing how much support we give one another, isn't it? Deepak Chopra said, no matter what the situation, remind yourself, I have a choice. How many of you found the talking about having a choice rather than I have to do something or I must do something or I ought to do something? It's about you have a choice. You don't have to stop at the stop sign. A lot of people don't. But you will need to take the consequences for not so doing. You don't have to have 648 friends. You may choose to, but how can you possibly be friends to that many people? That only happens in your teens, right? when you judge your worth by the number of friends you've got. So remember that everything is a choice. If you can understand that, I'm not joking. People will say to me, well, you really have to. And I go, no, I don't. I stop them right there. No, I don't. What? I don't have to do anything. You see, I'm an adult. I get to choose. Now, what is it that you think I should do? Because that's another word I really stop people on. Oh, you really should. That's a guilt word, right? So I go, no, I really shouldn't. Now, what is it you want to tell me? Because I may choose to do it, but let me hear it first. To me, I think I am pretty sure that was one of the best lessons I learned for myself. I did a lot of guilt in my life, a lot of guilt over shoulds and ought to and have to, and didn't want to be a bad person or be, whatever. And now, it's just like, no, I don't go there anymore. How about this one? A power comes not from suppressing others, but by uplifting them. How many of you have got such joy whilst you have been part of DearMamaSal of realizing that you had impact on the life of somebody else? Just by being who you are. You didn't need to be anything more than who you are. You didn't have to pretend. You didn't have to be something weird. You just needed to be who you are, and it inspired somebody else. I want you all to know that who we are is good enough. And, to me, that is really, really important. All right, so Jody is busy thanking everybody who supported her during this time with Lionel not being too well, but we're delighted to hear that he's on the mend, Jody. That is wonderful. And how about this? Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. How about this one? Air, the creator, saying, that always surprised me that being myself was enough. And that means the world to some people. Yeah. Something, Air? I've always said to people, don't phone me for sympathy. I'm the wrong person. But if you want help, I'm here for you. And the reason I say that is because I know that people have got so many people who will listen to them complain and do whatever. But if you want help, that's a whole different thing that I can do. But with help comes, thanks, Samantha, with help comes reality, right? As you know, I still think one of the greatest lines from Benji, when I was talking to him about being obese, and he just said, it's simple, Sal, just put better food in your stomach. And I just literally stopped and I went, hey, Nada. Oh, you've made my day, Nada. Thank you for being here. And I literally, with Benji's comment, I thought about it and I went, he's right. I don't have to diet. I just need to put better food in my system. I've had my blood sugar go a little bit funny in the mornings. Well, it's something that I'm doing at night, but I can't work out what it is I'm doing differently because I've always had these things at night, but it hasn't affected my blood sugar. So suddenly it is. And I think it's because I stopped the muffins, Jody. I think I'm going to go back to having those nightly muffins. Jody is saying, Aya, we have gifts that we can offer each other. Being yourself is so wonderful and authentic. Yes. Can you imagine me trying to be perfect? How much fun would that be? How many of you enjoy the cooking stuff because I'm doing it in real time? All right. I'm not making the perfect video. I'm just going, okay, guys, let's huck this on here and see what happens. How many of you enjoyed the real-time demonstration of how to make vanilla extract? And by the way, in case you're wondering, I put all the bottles back in the box that I had them in, and I wrote across the top of the box, shake me. Because what we know is I need to be able to shake that vanilla extract every couple of days or so. So I've put it in a space between the living room, kitchen type, dining room, everything area of the house, and the bedroom areas of the house. It's so I'm gonna have to pass it every day, and it's just got this big label on it that goes "Shake me." So no. Oh, Sandy, you're gonna love today's. You definitely watch it. It's really I literally didn't realize how easy it was to make vanilla extract. And I just need to tell you, Sandy, we made the good stuff. We didn't make the cheap stuff. We made the good stuff. And Jody was telling me how much she pays for the good stuff. And I want to tell you, although it looks like a heavy expense up front, it wasn't. By the time you see how much it's going to make. And Sandy, did you know that when you make the good stuff, you can just keep topping it up? As you use it, you just put some more booze in there and it will continue to make vanilla extract all the time. Sandy's saying, I caught the reply. I'm so excited to try it for myself. Thought I might make a couple of tries. No, I want to tell you something. Samantha, let me tell you, you will not believe it until you see it. It requires a bottle of vodka, right? And some vanilla beans and something to put it in. It is so simple. But the thing is this, did you know that the longer that you leave it, the better it's going to taste? So I did it now because I want it to be really good by Christmas. They're saying to make it good, you need to let it sit for at least 90 days. But the longer you do after 90, the better, the deeper the intensity. What would you call it, Jody? There's probably another word for that. But the better the quality will be. But I didn't know that you could keep topping it up. That is very magical to me. The other thing I didn't know is when I go to decant it into smaller bottles, I can take the beans out and put them in other bottles and start all over again. Sandy's saying that that's great. I buy the cheap stuff. I'd love to have the good stuff and possibly give it gifts. That's what I thought as well. The depth of flavor and intensity. Yes. So I want to tell you, Jody, how easy was it? I mean, other than getting all the stuff, I mean, it took me a little while to get all the bits together, Jody, great bottle of vodka for starters. But, it's like, quite honestly, if I did it again, I think I would just open up the bottle of vodka and I would throw 2 dozen vanilla beans, slit them and put them in the bottle of vodka and seal the bottle of vodka and shake it up, every now and then decant it at Christmas time. That's what I would do next time. I'd make a bigger batch. Well, I want to tell you something, that I did this with the top vanilla beans, which are the Madagascan ones, Aya. I think they are considered to be the best vanilla beans to use for vanilla extract. So I used top quality booze, top quality vanilla beans, and we ended up less than $10 a bottle, which in fact is going to come down to $5 a bottle when I decant it. So, I think that's a pretty good price for top quality. Mind you, we haven't tasted it yet, people. But I know it's going to be good. Because positive thinking is where we're at, right? How about this? The most important things in life have been accomplished by people who've just kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Yeah, Aya. See, Aya's saying, ooh, that's way below market value. I'd have to give that a try. Yeah, Jody was saying she pays $38 for what we produced for less than 10. Now, using the top quality Madagascan beans and 80% proof booze. You know what I mean? It's just like, You will see. And it was so difficult. Must have taken all of 5 minutes, Jody. But I do have to shake it a couple of times a week. I'm going to shake it every day, right, as I go by. How about this? I am not afraid of tomorrow, for I have seen yesterday, and I love today. I want to tell you a little bit of reality, if I may. I couldn't help but think that when we had the group get together, there was some risk factor there. Not everybody wore masks, not everybody socially distanced as well as they should have. And I couldn't help but think, that's a little risky. But you understand the people who got together all live in the same 100 yards part of the street. And they are all of my age or near it. And so they all are very high-risk people. They all have pre-existing conditions, and they all know they're intelligent people. They know the risks that they're taking. But they also said that you have to, in this reality, just trust that some people are fairly safe to be around. Because if you think it's difficult now, the question I was asking the assembled group when we got together is, we need to start working out what we're going to do in the winter. This is easy in the summer, right? This is easy in the summer. How are we going to keep each other entertained in the winter? And, I literally said, how difficult would it be for us to still be outside in the winter? And what I said was, if we really wanted to do it, we could dress up warmly enough. We could have, a couple of, fire pits in front of us, and we could bring hot toddies, and we could be just fine. Maybe we wouldn't be able to sit out there for 5 hours, but we could still do it if that's what we wanted to do. And if we cared enough about each other and about our mental health. And then I found out that one of my neighbors actually works in an elder facility, an old age home. And that sort of scared me a little bit at the start. Then after I got over my fear, I said to her, what can we do to help them? And she looked at me and said, what? And I said, what is it that we could do to help your residents? I'd like you to have a look around. Do they need somebody to come and sit in the garden with them? What could we do? Because you know me, once I know what the need is, I will find a way to make it happen. And so to me, it was just like, after I got over my fear. Now, how about this one, Lauren? This one's especially for you. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Okay? Doesn't matter how long it takes you to achieve your goal, as long as you constantly work towards it. Life gets in our way. Yeah, Lauren. So, by the way, Lauren, it's not pass and fail. It's about you doing this for your own knowledge, right? And you're doing this to improve your knowledge and your ability to help others. I think it's wonderful. You don't have to, there's nothing that says you have to get it completed by Christmas. Nothing. Or even by fall. Now, A is saying, got to get back to coding practice. Thank you for the time, MamaSal. I look forward to the next one. You haven't got to, you choose to go back to coding practice and enjoy it. We now know you're analytical. Aya, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate it. And we send you a big hug, and come back and join us anytime. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon doing our Soul Sunday meditation type thing. All right, so Lauren's saying, there's a 5-year maximum on the course. So yeah, it gives you a bit of time, but don't wait 4.5 years, Lauren. Just go, okay, this time I need you to drop these two. Next time I'm going to pick up one of them or two of them together, whatever you think. I was sorry that we didn't get a chance to talk to Mel and find out if she talked to her mother. So Jody or anybody else that happens to be around when she next pops in, can you remind me to ask her? She might come in on Sunday. I think she comes in on the Sunday one quite often. Wayne Dyer said, I cannot always control what goes on outside, but I can always control what goes on inside. And Lauren, the reason you did so well this week was you realized that you started to feel depressed until you forgave yourself for being human. All right? So what you saw was judgment from either yourself or other people that dropping a couple of courses was a bad thing. Well, quite honestly, no. If that's what it takes for you to get through this, it's not a bad thing. It's smart. Why overwhelm yourself and maybe quit uni altogether? No, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think what you did was, you adjusted your studying to what's going on in your life at the moment. I think that's smart. I really do. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and some absurdities no doubt crept into your day. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. Begin it well and serenely, and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. All right? Every day, this is okay, this is the start of the rest of my life. Yesterday wasn't so great. Let me start that again. Samantha is saying, yes, what a wonderful message. Control what you can and release what you can't. Absolutely. That is, when you can do that, that's the serenity prayer. When you can do that, you don't get depressed anymore. When you just go, okay, apparently being ruler of the universe and the superstar is not in my fortune today. So I get too overwhelmed. And Lauren's saying, if I was on a payment benefit, I'd have to do 3 classes per semester, but I'm not getting any payment benefit, so I can do as many classes as I want to, or as few. Well done, Lauren. You got that one sorted out. Lou Holt said, ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. How many of you have watched me bit by bit go through that 10 cubic, no, it was 100 cube. 10 foot by 10 foot is 100 cube, isn't it? Of boxes that was just in my craft room. Now, are they all empty? No, I've still got some. But half the boxes in my studio have also been cleared now. So do you understand, just slow and steady? And by the way, this will surprise you. Between the 2 broadcasts, I actually put away about 3 boxes of stuff that was in my bedroom that had been in the craft room. So why on earth did I do that between the 2 broadcasts? Well, because I realized that the stuff was all of the same sort and it could all fit into my closet, at the bottom of my closet, and be out of the way and tidy. Now, quite honestly, what I put away so carefully and tidily probably needs to go in the garbage eventually, but I wasn't ready to do that yet. Why? They were all the tapes from the days when I first started speaking. Now, the joke is, do I still have a tape player that will play those tapes? No. But how many of you know that is history? And I have the original spool-to-spool tape that I recorded my one major speech on. I actually did it on a reel-to-reel, and I've still got that original tape that was put down. And so, it's history, and I'm not going to throw away that history yet. Is there a good reason to keep it? Absolutely not. But if we forget history, we forget who we are, right? Max Lucado said, you weren't an accident. You weren't mass-produced. You aren't an assembly line product. You were deliberately planned, specifically gifted, and lovingly positioned on earth by the master craftsman. Do you understand that? They're on cassette, Lauren. Do you understand that there's a reason why I have the talents that I have, and the stupidity that I have, and the fact that I do not cook by measuring very well, right? It's all part of what makes me me. But on the other hand, you were built differently. You cook much better than I do because you do measure. You do things in a different way. But I get my joy out of these experiments, and I don't see failures when I'm cooking. When I try to do things like, is it possible to cook a wrap here on my crepe maker? It must be. Let me try it. It's an experiment to me. I love to do experiments. I don't see it as pass and fail of who I am. It's just like, let me hack that on there and see what happens. Samantha's saying, Sandy, that's good to hear, my dear. Did you guys get a lot of rain this week? The weather has been odd here, but I suppose I shouldn't complain much. It could have been worse. Now, what did Sandy say that I missed? I'm going to just scroll back here. Oh, they were just talking to each other. Okay, got it. So when you realize how unique you are, I don't try to be in competition with other people. You see, there's only one DearMamaSal, and that's me. And there is only one person that does the work that I do the way that I do it. And it's that simple. You understand that I actually was talking to one of my neighbors, and she has got an incredible attitude on life. And she talks about how she doesn't allow negativity in her life. She just lives every day to be happy. And I said, I wonder if I could interview you. I have people that need to hear you. And I'm working on it. I'm working to get her to come and sit with me one day and talk to you about how she does that. So she doesn't beat up on herself. She doesn't, think that she's less than anybody else. She's just a happy human being and grateful for everything she's got, and lives each day to make it happy. Quite a simple formula. Jody, there's quite a simple formula to get my blood sugar under control. Stop eating the sugars and carbs. But as well as I do, I will spend the rest of my life finding out how many I can sneak in, because that's who I am. My enjoyment is seeing what I can get away with. Apparently, I haven't been doing that quite as well as I was doing a few months ago. But I'll find a way. I just got to work out the balance. Kez, good to see you. Have I ever thought about converting my old cassettes and videos of your speeches onto USB or DVD? You know something? I didn't have them videoed. But I did, actually, I probably did have one. But, they were on cassettes. And have I thought about converting them? Not really, no. It was 20 years ago or more, 30 years ago now. The technology is completely different, and the stuff I was talking about probably would be relevant, but I gave away my last tape player when I downsized. I did still have a tape player for that reason, but I gave it away to a homeless man who, somebody bought my trailer for a homeless man, and I gave him my boombox with the tape player in it as a gift to him, which I thought was a good idea at the time until I realized, wait a minute. Now, can I find a tape player? I'm pretty certain they're still around somewhere. Okay, Lauren, good to see you. Enjoy your visitors. How about this one? Brian Tracy said, confidence on the outside begins by living with integrity on the inside. Did you guys hear my story about the fact that I was in a catch-22 over some integrity this week? Okay, Ned is saying the thrift store has the tape players all the time. Yeah. So I may or may not choose to find them. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not in a hurry to go to a thrift store right now. Yeah, so I had a situation, listen to this. I had a situation where I actually loaned some money to somebody, and they needed that so they could get a deposit down on a house. And that was fine. And then what happened was that after the deal was all done and everything was cemented and accepted the offer and everything else, they suddenly said that I was going to have to sign a piece of paper to say that the money I had given was not a loan. Now you're saying, why? Well, probably because that would change the repayment ability of the person who borrowed the money. Does that make sense? Probably the banks are going, we don't want you to have to pay this back as well as a mortgage and da-da-da-da-da. So that's probably why they did it, and I could understand that. But in the meantime, that was not the situation when I loaned the money. So now, if I don't sign the piece of paper, then the house sale falls through and they will lose the deposit. Because this came up after it was all done. And so then I said, I need to get off the phone for a moment because I need to think. You see, I did not want to sign a legal document telling a lie. Can any of you relate to that? I did not want to lie on a legal document. And so I had to sit and think for a while, how do I do this and stay in integrity? Is it possible to do this? And what I came up with was, yes, I put it in writing that the money I gave was a gift. It was not a loan, it was a gift. And then separately said, and by the way, when you're ready, I would really like a gift of this, and this, which came up, to the same amount that I had gifted. And I'd like you to give that to me as a gift when you're ready in this time span. So you see, now I can sign the piece of paper. It's a thin line. I know that. I understand that. But, I'm not telling a lie. I've given it as a gift. And I do know that I'm going to get it gifted back in a different way. And that's all I can do. Yeah, and so Sam's saying, oh, I get where they were, but that's still not kosher. They knew about that beforehand. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I honestly believe they did not know. That was a bank thing that came in afterwards. That the bank said, we will need these documents and so forth. So you understand that I know the person well enough that they would never have asked me to sign a piece of paper with a lie because they know me better. All right? They know me better. They know that I can't do that. It's not who I am. I'm not a perfect person, but I don't go out of my way to tell lies on legal documents. What about you guys? Right? It's like, no. If the only way I can get something, no, I just, if you get the idea. I don't have to beat this one to death. So my question was, I just had to think it through and come up with a plan B that made it better. Now, the question is, how close to the line is it? It's pretty close, I know. But, I feel that I can do it in integrity. And that is all that's important to me. Now, I also believe, and I would really recommend this, never lend money that you cannot afford not to have come back. In other words, when you lend money, understand that money may never come back to you. So to me, I have given the gift knowing that it may never come back to me. All right, Samantha's saying, I didn't mean to pose my response quite so accusatory. What a lovely word. I love it. I apologize. Samantha, I understand that, but understand that I really do believe with the absolute certainty that they did not know that that was going to be asked of them. Why? I heard the voice tone, and I know that that person wouldn't even have asked me if he had known that. He would never have asked me. So it just is what it is, right? So, but the thing is, was I angry for a little bit, Samantha? You bet I was. And, when I first heard it, I'm going, so you're asking me to tell a lie on a legal document? And luckily, that's somebody I've worked with a lot and said, no, I am not asking you to do that. If you don't want to do that, I would totally understand. And I went, of course you would. You know me well enough. But I said, let me get off the phone. I need to think. I've got to come up with a plan B that I'm comfortable with. So does that make sense? So for a split second, I was pretty angry. And then I realized, no, he'd never have done that on purpose. That's a bank thing that's come in. And now we need to find a way around this. Or I could have turned around and said, no, give me my money back and lose your house and your deposit. No, I didn't want to do that either. So sometimes life isn't easy. But I always found that I heard somebody once say at a leadership conference, I heard somebody say, with every decision you make, if it got splashed across the front page of the newspaper tomorrow, would you be okay with it? Right? And so you got to look at it and go, how do I make this okay for me? Doesn't have to be perfect because nobody is. But can I make this okay with me and for me? And as I said, when I lend money to people, I lend money on the principle that it probably is never coming back. If it does, it's wonderful. But if it doesn't, I've already got that cleared up in my mind. Does that make sense? I don't want to live my life going, but you owe me money, you got to pay me back. No, when I lend it, it's gone. End of story. Now, if it starts to come back to me, that's wonderful. It's wonderful, but it's not the reason I lend money. Because I don't want any relationship to be dependent on a money thing. I hope that makes sense to some of you. Right. So Jody's telling me that I have yet to do the countdown, so let me do that. And for those of you who don't know, we do this every week and we still end up behind the 8 ball, but it keeps us amused. We've got exactly 8 months and 6 days until Easter. Valentine's Day is 6 months and 2 weeks away, just over. Christmas is only 146 days away, which is why we started making Christmas presents. Our overseas mail needs to be, Christmas card mail needs to be in the post in 4 months. So let's start making those Christmas cards, or start making the Christmas card list. US Thanksgiving is only 3 months and 3 weeks away for those of you living in the US. And of course, for those of us living in Canada, our Thanksgiving is only 2 months and 12 days away, because we have ours in October, which nobody in the States really thinks about. But, we all need to acknowledge the American one. It always makes me laugh. And so what I wanted to remind you is that I moved in here 6 months and 22 days ago. I moved in mid-January, and that is already half a year that's gone by. Isn't that amazing? And so I look at it and go, a lot of stuff has happened in that time, right? I went from being in a very comfortable environment that I'd lived in for 20 years to moving here, and almost immediately the pandemic hit and shut everything down. I still don't know where the local this and the local that is, because I haven't been going out to go shopping. I still don't know everything that's in the local big mall, because I haven't been there, nor do I intend to go there. And so life is a big adventure. And part of me goes, I don't have to worry too much. I have learned how to order my groceries and get them delivered. Thank goodness for Amazon and for Wish and all the other things where I can order stuff and have it sent to me. I am content in a lot of ways to live this new lifestyle. How about you guys? Are you learning to adjust? Are you learning what the new reality looks like? And are you okay and not waiting for it all to go back to normal, because it's not going to? How are you doing? Give me some feedback if you can. The greatest gift you can give yourself this year, and I'd give it to myself right now if I were you, is the gift of flexibility. Stay in the present. Make today a happy day. With all the restrictions that you have, still make it happy. Don't wait for things to change, because it may not happen. Nada's saying she's still struggling to be flexible. But Nada, are you getting a bit better at it? Right? Because I think we will all need to be way more flexible than we've already been, quite honestly. So, and let us know, Nada. I first of all want to thank you that you're still coming and visiting us, but if there is any way in which we can privately support you, please remember to contact us. Either contact me or Jody or somebody, because you're not alone. You do know that, Nada, right? If you are alone, it's because you choose to be, not because we're not here to support you. All right? But we need to know what we can do to help. Jody's saying, I've done a marvelous job, Sal, when I think about what you were up against in that move. You think I've done a marvelous job, and I storm immediately during that time too. You took one step at a time, and look what you've accomplished. Yes. And by the way, in case any of you don't know, not only did I really mess up my plantar fasciitis in that move, but I've also discovered I have totally messed up my Achilles. And, I'm still struggling with it, but I keep trying different things to help. And I know what's going to help is to rest my Achilles. And I don't do that very well. Ned is saying, yes, I know. And you went through some stuff, Nada. We know that. And Nada, we gave you the space that you need to sort yourself out a little. But it doesn't mean that you don't deserve our support. But if you don't want it, we understand. All right, Samantha, write to me anytime, either because you have a topic you'd like me to discuss or you'd like me to give some input on something. I really do get to everything as soon as I can. I'm not perfect, but I do get to it as soon as I can. Well, Nada, we cannot ask for more than that. She's saying, I know that I think, and know that I think of you all, even if I'm not here. And we think of you as well. You see, what I find so interesting is that we have so much to be grateful for. Can you imagine going through this pandemic without technology? Can you imagine going through this pandemic without delivery services that we have today? Can you imagine going through this pandemic without YouTube, without Netflix, without Prime, without all the other things that we've got to entertain us? Can you imagine doing it without Zoom, without, all the other platforms that we use? Think about this. We are so fortunate to do this our way. And so what I just want you all to know is, if you are feeling that you need to get out of yourself, then make sure one of us knows. We've got a great team of people and they all are willing to help, but they need to know you need the help. We are, as you know, an extended family of people that care about one another. We are not going to beg to help you, but if you ask for help, we'll do everything we can to support you. One of the great things that I learned was that asking for help was actually a sign of strength and recovery, not a sign of weakness. That quite honestly, if I need help, that doesn't mean that I'm weak or stupid or whatever. It means I actually just would like some support. However, there is a huge difference. Good night, Isabel. There is a huge difference between getting help and then waiting for people to do your work for you. And we don't do that. Jody's saying we're very lucky to have the helpful technology that's available. I cannot imagine how I would have coped without staying connected. Yes. And that's the whole thing. I get up every day and thankful that I still have internet. I get up every day and I'm thankful that I have the technology that I have and the equipment that I have is working, touch wood, and those sort of things. I am grateful for that. I might be in pain with my feet, but, I'm grateful on the other side. And now I'm just trying to work out, I need to give myself the gift of getting off my feet and maybe have my Achilles on ice a couple of times a day so that I can give them a chance to heal. Isabel's saying you're all very nice. I'm grateful to you all, especially during this pandemic. You know something, Isabel? The reason you know that we're very nice is because you are. And you have done so much to help viewers here. And I am so grateful to you. Yeah, as Jody says, Isabel, we're happy and lucky to have you in our family. Yeah. And Nada, a big hug. Come back and see us soon, honey. Or just listen and don't tell us you're there. I know you're there, even if you're not, if you know what I mean. So big hugs to you all. To all of you. I do believe that we're as happy as we make ourselves. I got the hic. And I wasn't drinking the vodka. I want to tell you that we're as happy as we make ourselves. All right. Samantha saying, my college program would have been scrapped without technology. I would have less purpose, happiness, and of course, no Mama Sal. Yeah. Well, Samantha, we're really happy that you're here and that we get to talk to you and hear your input. And, you've been a wonderful addition. And You will see that people come in and out of the program, and we're fine with it. I don't see that as pass and fail. I just always said to Jody, the interesting thing about doing what we do is our job is to be consistent so that people will know where to come back to if they need help. Jody's saying, thank you, Sal, and thank you everyone for being here and participating. Please hit the thumbs up button as you exit the broadcast today. That really helps me. Thank you. And if you're not subscribed, do so and hit the bell and make sure that we have you on the list to send notifications to if we need to. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, we all procrastinate. It's human nature. And we all have bad days. Remember Lauren's story. When we beat up on ourselves and, think of ourselves as losers when actually we're not. What actually turns out to be the best thing you did for yourself is the thing that you judge yourself so harshly on. And I think you can all relate to Lauren's story and maybe have a think to yourself, what is it I need to drop from my life? Who is it I need to drop from my life so that my life isn't as stressed? One of the things that I've talked to many viewers about is, why do you continue the drama? What do you need to let go of the drama? And it normally is a person or an expectation of yourself. Because when you let go of the drama, there is so much less stress. When I let go of my need to have everything unpacked and realize I can actually spend the rest of my life unpacking, and maybe I will die with not all of it unpacked, that's okay. It is my life. And I did something today and I could hear myself judging myself. I got some blackboard material and I put it up on my white cupboards in my kitchen. And I could hear people saying, why would you do that with your beautiful white cupboards? And I'm going, because I need somewhere I can write notes that I can see all the time. And I now have a blackboard. It's part of my kitchen. How many of you going, I could do with it? And now, if I'm not writing on my mirror in my bathroom, I can now write when I'm in the kitchen, because I know I can go to the computer, but I don't know if any of you relate to this. By the time I get to the computer, or by the time I find my phone, I've forgotten what it was that I wanted to remember. And that is a reality of my age and the life that I live. And I don't want to keep forgetting. I want to make sure that I keep a note. And so I went, what do you need to make this easier for you? And I went, I need a notepad on the wall somewhere. And I went, oh, I can do that. And so if any of you would like to see what I did, I'll take a picture of it for you. But, this is like, it's my house. I'm not trying to win the Homes and Gardens Award of the year for the prettiest looking kitchen that's not functional for me. This is my house, right? This is my house. I need to make it work for me, not for you, not for the person who visits me next week. I need to make it work for me and the stage of life that I'm in. And so when we can let go of those things, as Lauren did, when we can say this is too much, it's overwhelmed, and slow it down, it is really important. I'll take a picture for you, Jody. It's really important. Isn't it interesting? Samantha's saying, I feel that in my soul. We have a hallway of chalkboards in my house. Great. You see, and that's what I wanted. And, as I said, it's just like I need to be able to not have to worry about trying to find the phone or the computer, because I need to write the note right now, not later, right now. So I'm going to actually, I thought what I might do is also show you how to make blackboards for people and maybe give them as Christmas presents, because, you can do it quite easily. So we'll do that as a Christmas present thing. This is DearMamaSal saying, thank you so much for spending the evening with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your input that has helped other people. And we'll see you on Sunday afternoon. Jody, thank you for all that you did. to put this together for us. We do appreciate it. And we know you've had a difficult week, but I know better than to get in your way when you're on a mission. This is DearMamaSal saying, remember to look after one another, but most of all, please, please, please remember to look after yourself. It is not selfish to look after you and your needs. It is vital at this time. It's okay to do that. This is DearMamaSal saying, we'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye for now.